Hello there, it's Claire from Come Back Brighter. Right, this is a new series that I'm doing because I really want people to understand that whilst it might feel like it, no contact is not actually it. No contact is just the beginning of it all. So it can feel like, well, if it feels anything like for you, like it did for me, when I reached the point of going no contact, I had been working and trying so hard with my father. I'd done everything that I thought that I could do to make the relationship work. And not necessarily, and this is like not necessarily like the point at which we weren't no contact. This is like for years previously. Okay. So I don't think that there's anybody that goes no contact who just decides one day on a whim that they're going to do that. I think that no contact comes at the end of a very, very long fight for your relationship. And what I mean by fight is that you're fighting for the relationship, but it feels like you're actually fighting against the other person too. So, so much of your energy goes into it, massive amounts of energy and time and love and care and thought, and all these things go into trying to make it work. But like I've said previously, it's like the more that you try, the more you're trying to like pull together, you're trying to come together in this, you're trying to work through it. The more you try, the more you kind of repel them. So as you're trying to come closer to them and try to work out what's wrong, how to sort it out, how to make the relationship be the loving, caring, respectful, mutually beneficial relationship that you want it to be, they're pulling away from you. And so what happens is, and this happens so many times, it's exhausting until you kind of realize that actually this relationship is supposed to be like a two-way street. And actually what happens is you see that you've been here so many times before. This is not just a one-off. This is not just a row that you need to sit down and talk it through and work it through between the two of you. What happens before you go no contact is a series of these rows or dramas or unpleasant incidences, and you see every single time that it was never resolved to your satisfaction. And not only that, you see that not only was it not resolved to your satisfaction, you see that the pattern is repeating itself. So that argument that you had, like, so the unpleasantness might have felt like it started like a few years ago. You have one row, but then you find yourself like 6 years on, and you've had same rows, not the same row, but the same pattern of events happening twice, 6 times, 10 times, 20 times over the years. And it's exactly the same. So the reason for the drama might be different every time. So it might be apparently you said something that upset them, or that you want to raise an issue in the relationship that they've hurt you and you want to talk it through so it doesn't happen again. But so it doesn't matter the specific circumstances around it, but you'll see that the pattern will be exactly the same. And the pattern will be that they will lie, they will gaslight, they will twist things, they will blame you, they will bring other people into it, they will create drama, they will turn it around so it's you, they will accuse you of things, and so many different things. Okay. And it kind of can leave you reeling, because especially if you're trying to address an issue in the relationship, you're like, well, all I wanted to say was that when you did this thing, you upset me. And it's like, it just blows up. It goes, it just goes absolutely huge, and you don't know how it happens. And that happens every single time. So really what happens with no contact is you get to the stage, I believe, where you've just had enough of it, and you realize that they're never going to change, and you realize that any issues are never going to get resolved, and that they're just going to create drama out of nowhere, which is what they do. They use something, they make it look like it's something that you've done. They twist things around so that somehow you're responsible for it. But the truth is, they're bored and they want drama. So no contact is just the beginning. And you can feel like that's a fight to get to that point. Okay. And certainly when you make that decision, it's a huge decision to make. You don't want to do it. I don't think anybody wants to go no contact. And that's what makes it really difficult. Because if you don't want to do it, it makes it even more difficult. But I think we reach the point where we just snap, and we realize that they're not going to change. And maybe they say that, maybe they tell you that they're not going to change. And you think, I can't take this anymore. I don't want to be treated like this anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm fighting for a relationship on my own, which is what ultimately happens. So no contact is just the beginning, and you can reach that point and you're utterly exhausted. You've got to the end of all of your resources, all of your energy, all of your time, all of your physical strength, all of your mental ability, all of your emotional capacity, and then there's no contact. But no contact really is the beginning, because that's the time when everything is going to pile in on you. Okay. So when I went no contact, I felt relief. I could literally feel 1 minute relief, and the next minute overwhelming self-doubt. Had I done the right thing? Was it me that was the problem? Was it my fault? Is there something I could do that would make it all go away? I even used to think things like, I used to feel like there was like this kind of like magical combination of words that I could say that would make my father understand what it was that I was trying to say to him. But it wasn't about the magical combination of words. It was about him just being willing to sit and listen. And him caring enough that he wanted to fix things. He wanted to listen. He wanted to make things better. So no contact, that's the beginning of the journey. That's the beginning of your healing journey. Okay. And I think, personally, I've gone no contact, and my husband, for example, he didn't go no contact. I think there's something about going no contact that is kind of rockets you into a healing process, because you've actually made the proactive choice to go no contact. Okay, you've decided that. You've been pushed to that point where you just can't take it anymore. Okay, and because you've made that decision, even though it's like, it's not actually really a decision, because the choice comes down to, will I continue to be treated badly? Because I know what's going to happen. I have seen in the last 2, 5, 10 rows that we've had, unpleasant times that we've had, that the pattern is exactly the same. I don't want to endure that anymore, because it's like torture. It is like torture. So you make this decision to go no contact, but really it's because there is no other choice. You've tried everything else. You've tried apologizing when it's not your fault. You've tried ignoring it. You've tried sweeping it under the carpet, but there's only a certain number of times that you can do that. So you've got no contact, and then that's when you're going to deal with all of the stuff coming in. Okay, this is when all of the like symptoms of the narcissistic abuse that you've endured are going to come piling in on you all at once, and it's when you're at your most vulnerable. The beginning of no contact is you're the most vulnerable, because you still love and care for that person. Just because you've decided that it's best for you that you break contact doesn't mean you stop caring about them. So this is when you'll get the self-doubt coming in. This will be when you start blaming yourself. This will be when you start to think, oh, maybe I could have done this thing differently. Okay, it's going to happen, and I can guarantee it. It's going to happen. You will be bamboozled with guilt and fear and obligation. It will all come in on you. So you think you've kind of like, that's it, no contact is the thing, I've done that, but it's actually what comes afterwards that's the most challenging thing. As you start to truly process what you've been through, as you start to like kind of like reassess what your idea of a normal relationship is and what a good relationship is, because what you're starting to see is you see that that's not good. I don't want a repeat of that. I don't want to. That's not a healthy relationship. So it's what you're going through is massive, because you've broken away. And this is when all their tactics, all their manipulations, all the ways that they had control over you are going to come out. And this is the real test, because the real test is in maintaining your no contact. Okay, that's the real test, is maintaining your no contact. Because a part of you will know, part of you will feel relief, okay? And some days that feeling of relief will be overwhelming, and you'll just be like, oh, I've made the right decision. I feel so much better without them in my life. My life is so much more peaceful and quiet without them. But then the next day you can be, it's all my fault. I'm a terrible daughter. I'm a terrible son. I'm an awful partner, whatever it might be, whatever position, you know, whatever role you might have with this person. I'm a terrible person. Oh, they're old, or their health isn't very good, or they've got mental health issues, or they've had trauma in their life. They had a terrible childhood. Now, stop. When all that comes in, that's the symptom of the abuse. That's the symptoms of the abuse. So whatever you're saying to yourself, those things that you're saying to kind of excuse their behavior and to feel sorry for them and to make excuses for them, that's what they've done. That's the excuses that they've used to manipulate you into staying with them and to continue to be there so that they can abuse you. Okay, so I want you to understand now, and I don't want you to put you off no contact if this is where you are right at the beginning. It's really hard, but I can guarantee you will not feel like this. I can guarantee it. But without you knowing, and whilst you're going through all this roller coaster of emotions, you're getting stronger. You're getting stronger every single day. So the way I see it is going no contact is like detoxing. Okay. And when it comes to a narcissist, the only way to detox from them is complete no contact. Because if you still have contact with them, it's a little bit like you're just drinking a little bit of their poison. And you can't get it out of your system. It won't go away. And you won't see it. So every moment that you're free of them is giving you greater ability to be able to see their behavior for what it was, to see it as abusive, And that in itself is a process, because you have to unpick the ways that you've been manipulated. You have to see their excuses for their behavior as what they are, as excuses. No adult, I believe, in this day and age, with so much help on the internet, with so much awareness of issues that people have, with so much so many therapists and specialists, there's never any excuse, I don't believe, for anybody to not go and get help. Not even money, because you can get a lot of help for free online. You can subscribe to free courses, blah blah blah, whatever it is. I don't believe there's any, and there's never any excuse for anyone to abuse anybody else. No matter the state of their health, no matter their financial position, no matter how sad they are, no matter what it is, there is never an excuse for abuse. So I just want you to know, it is hard. It's really, really hard. But I will tell you, having gone through the process myself, I haven't read about this in a textbook. I've experienced this myself. And I'm now coming up to nearly, hang on, what were we? Nearly 8 years no contact. I survived it. I did it. And I truly believe if I did it, then you can do it. And I tell you now, I would go through it all again to be where I am right now in my life. And even if you pressed rewind and I went right the way back to like the first month afterwards, the first 3 months afterwards, the first 6 months afterwards, I'd still do it all again. Even in those first few months when it was particularly difficult, I'd still do it all again. Because all I see in my life now is the benefits of being free of these people. I see how they held me back in every single area of my life. I see how they sabotaged me when it came to friendships, to relationships. I see how they sabotaged me when it came to my career and my job and my training and my education. I see it. And it's all worth it for the peace and for the freedom. So if you're watching this and you're right at the beginning of no contact, or perhaps it's something like you're considering and you're not sure about it, and you need my help and support, then please reach out to me. I'm here for you. Please either comment below or email me, Clare, CLARE, comebackbrighter@gmail.com. Okay, bye.